Okay, what are we doing?
Well, I guess today we're going to do a video on setting up day hike kits. What you should have depending on the terrain you're going. So today we're going to kind of think about maybe we're heading up into one of the mountains to go hiking. And some of the things that you should have for that.
So this is called the Monadnock Challenge.
Sure.
Alright.
So this is just a Frankenstein day pack that I put together. Out of just a bunch of different, I guess call it a modular system, but a bunch of different components. I got water, first aid, hand sanitizer, some basic stuff like a little compass and a whistle. You're going to always want to have that anyway. And then your areas to carry stuff.
You're going to have to take it off and then explain.
So this kit here is basically working off of a harness system, similar to what I had in the service, except that on our harnesses we didn't carry a pack up on the harness itself. We usually carried a regular pack with it. So this would all be under our regular. So it's just a modification of that. So for my kit, like I said, first aid kit, have a first aid kit that you're knowledgeable and can hit to your abilities. You make it to your abilities. And this upper pack, stuff to wipe your butt with. You're going to want to go sometime. If it happens, you're going to want to have that. So the upper kit, very minimum, map and compass. You're going to want to have a map for the area that you're going to be in. So this being the Monadnock Challenge, this is a trail system map of Mount Monadnock. In plastic so it doesn't get wet. See over on this side. Get some spare food. Snack bars, stuff like that. No big deal, just some snack bars. In the main pack, this is probably some of the most important things about the trip, is that weather changes really quick on the mountain. It can be a nice 70-degree day on the bottom, and by the time you get to the top, you could be hitting almost freezing with the wind chill. And if the clouds come in, you get that kind of mess. So you got to plan for that. So first out, there's a rain jacket. And my thermal layers. It's also, you know, if you happen to get stuck out there, something happens and you can't make it to the parking lot by the end of the day. So there's a windbreaker, a scarf, hat and gloves, and an insulated layer. That's a packable down jacket. And an incidental bag full of things that you should have. First aid stuff. There's a small filter for water. No big deal. Matches. There's a headlamp. Regular flashlight. Spare batteries. Like I said, matches. And everybody carries phones and electronic stuff with them, so you should at least have a power bank of some sort. And the cables that you're going to use for the kind of equipment that you have. And that's just a plug so that if I get tracked into like a hotel or something for the night, once I come down, or if I make it down before that, I get someplace I can recharge my things with. That's all in the upper bag. On the side, you should carry at least 2 liters of water with you. So that right there is a half a gallon. That'll handle me most of the day. Plus I keep a notebook and a Sharpie with it, so I can write stuff down or I can leave notes if I have to. So that's there. And this is all basic stuff. And people can take from it what they want. And this pack carries some backup stuff. You know, a decent knife. I got spare cordage in here. A saw, a ferro rod. In here I've got a grabber blanket, which is a reflective blanket so that I can make a shelter, and it's semi-waterproof anyway, going to keep the wind off me, which is going to be real important up on top of a mountain or even coming back into the tree line. Then in the main compartment here, food just to keep you going, and you got to have something to cook it in. Well, this isn't anything really huge. This is just a GSI Soloist. A lid, a lighter, alcohol burner, and my solo stove, which will work as both a pot holder and a windscreen for my Trangia burner, so that I can put my pot up on top of it. It all packs away real neat, real easy. Just like that. And then fuel for my Trangia burner. Plus a knife and fork. Then on the sides, got some hand warmers. Need those, take them, bring them out. And over here, just to take your mind off stuff, there's a deck of wild edible playing cards. So I can sit there and look and see if I've got any plants around me that I recognize and don't remember what they're for. I can see if I can eat them with this set of cards. Gives me something to do.
And that's because you already know basic first aid, you know bushcraft, you know how to make shelters, and all that stuff.
Well, I know.
If people didn't know that stuff, like we were talking earlier about the Collins Gem SAS manual.
Yep.
It's probably a good thing for people to have that
Sure.
aren't a Marine.
Sure, I mean, you can carry this little wallet size tiny survival guide. Like you see, it just fits in your back pocket. Doesn't take up any room, you just throw it in your back pocket and you forget about it. And that gives you a lot of your basics on how to put up a shelter real quick, maybe signaling somebody, making a fire. Silly things like that might actually keep you alive for a little bit. But the other thing it will do is, for the most part, it'll sit your ass down, make you look at something and start thinking instead of reacting to panic, which is actually what really messes people up big time when they're out there. The other thing is they're going to rely on their phones too much and run their batteries out when they actually critically need their phone. You can't rely on your phone to do all your filming, all your social media, your communications, especially in an emergency, or to be your flashlight coming back down the mountain in the middle of the night. You don't have that much battery life. So if you're not carrying a battery bank, you're screwed, and you really shouldn't be relying on it that way anyway. You should have a regular flashlight, things that are actually made for doing those things. So that's how my kit's pretty much set up for.
Okay, so this is a his and hers challenge. So next is part 2, which is my Climb Monadnock bag. And of course I had to make it a lot lighter than Chris's. So we'll see you in part 2.